Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. Let's talk about AI predictive orthodontics. What is that? And what happens when your AI fails? Because AI is just a guess, right? We, we don't know. Even if you're using Chat Grok, Gemini, whatever, there's always a little bitty, disclaimer that says this may not be right. Well, same thing with ortho. If you're using AI predictive analytics or AI predictive treatment simulation, um, well, I mean, essentially all of Invisalign ClearCorrect is all AI treatment simulation. I mean, they're just using the data to predict how the teeth are going to move. There are a million variables that they can't control for. So it's never going to go exactly like that, like the density of the bone, like the compliance. You know, people think, oh, 22 hours. No one knows if they're actually wearing it 22 hours. But I think the bone density is really, the length of the roots. There's so many things that can change the way a tooth moves or how long you need for a tooth to move. Anyways, impossible to fully predict. Those AI treatment, um, predictors are nice, but there's a lot of discussion whether you should even be showing them to the patient because especially if they're taking a screen grab of it or they want a copy of it, which they usually do. And then later, well, you didn't give me this. Well, this is what I asked for. Cautious. So all those when you use the iOS or you're using the in-face or you're looking at the CBCT and the root predictions. Listen, I've actually been, I don't know, sometimes I see stuff and I'm like, that ain't happening. And I just laugh and I just don't look at it. But that is the benefit. And I think that is I mean, some ways it's great for me because, I helped educate general and pediatric dentists how to do proper orthodontics the right way, like a resident would. But there are so many other programs which are pushing all these AI predictors, but they're not actually teaching the doctors how to do proper orthodontics, how to know if the AI is even right. I know if the AI is right. I'll look at it and I'll laugh. I look at it just for entertainment purposes. And honestly, it's for me, it's more of an educational thing. Like if I'm showing the patient what it would look like if we fixed the midline or if we didn't, I'm just saying, this is just an example of how it might look if one fixed a midline. This is not exactly how it's gonna look on you. It's just an example. Um, but keep that in mind. Okay, so let's go into this a little bit more. So I actually did a full like deep dive into chat and stuff like that, and as far as I know, none of the companies really have a section for it. Because I was wondering, is it in the informed consent? Are they letting the patients know that this may or may not be, and that you're not? No, they're not. And if they are, it's so they don't sue that company, not you. So the question is, do you need a separate informed consent form if you're using AI predictive stuff? And you probably do, is the answer. So you can make your own. I mean, I'm not making one just because this is like I have so many consent forms. I just don't know. So I really think you have to ask an attorney about this in your own state. I'm not making one, but I mean, you can ask. I know doctors who are asking chat to make one, but basically, so a couple tips, best practice tips. So first of all, habits that you want to get into, because I feel like I hear so many doctors saying, oh, this is what your teeth are going to look like. Do not say that. That is where you can get yourself in trouble. So train your assistants and treatment coordinators never to say, here's what your teeth will look like when we're done. Shift the phrasing from, this is a blueprint the software uses to help your doctor plan. It helps us see the direction we want to go. But your bone and biology have its own, unique ways, and those will determine their final destination or something like that. And then document that. They're saying you should always document that with every single case, and keep documenting it. So yeah, that's hard. It's like an extra step, right? So just keep that in mind. I mean, just be cautious. I mean, part of the reason why, I just it's just a different world than it was when I first started 25 years ago. I mean, people have their phones on the entire office. I mean, they may not be actively filming you, but their phones are on in their pockets. I hear them recording. I've seen people do this before, where they're just recording the whole visit. People are doing it. They don't need permission to do it. They just do it. And then they're using AI to download everything you said and keep notes of it. Why? Because I see stuff. So I know a lot of stuff. Like the stuff that's going on, and not to give you guys phobic, but more than ever, I feel like we are 24 hours a day with our staff, with our patients. Have to be so cautious with what we say. It's actually, for me as a neurodivergent autistic, like that's part of the reason why I choose to just do it this way. Like I don't even think I'm necessarily, want to go back into an office just because of the stuff that's going on and what people do. And I know some of you guys are like jealous. I'm sorry. But to be honest, my brain really can't tolerate any of this nonsense. So anyways, okay, what else do I need to tell you? Yeah, so consider making an informed consent form. few other things to keep in mind. Um, Keep in mind in terms of danger of digital simulations. So, using a simulation creates a uniquely legal vulnerability that standard medical consent forms fail to shield against. This is what they said. So, first of all, there's a breach of contract trap. In medicine, you cannot legally guarantee a cure. However, if you present a highly detailed AI generated picture of the patient's exact face and teeth, a plaintiff's attorney can argue that you created an implied contract or express warranty promising that exact physical result. That's a hard call. Yeah. The informed consent gap. Standard forms state that results may vary. They do not explicitly state that the software used to sell or plan the case uses mathematical algorithms that ignored individual biological variables like bone density, tongue thrusting, and root morphology. I just said that. Yeah. And also, you know, I literally just mentioned that. You should see my content. I'm going to give you a keyword to look up. If you want to look up, I have one that's called Hocus Pocus. I call it Hocus Pocus cases. There's sometimes I'll look at a liner, I'm like just laughing. It's impossible. Like teeth don't move like that. There's some magical stuff they do. And this is AI. Like if you tell them to do something, they may do it, but it may not ever be possible. But you don't know, right? Only orthodontists know. Another thing, aesthetic discrepancies. AI models easily predict perfectly leveled midlines, idealized smile lines, and symmetrical gingival margins. In reality, skeletal asymmetries, tooth size discrepancies like Bolton ratios, and tissue biotypes often present perfect execution. If the patient is not explicitly warned that the AI screen is a tool, not a mirror in the future, you are exposed. Yeah, I know. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So, all right, you guys got all the scoops now. I don't really have an answer for this. I just wanted to bring it up because I literally found almost no content on this anywhere, and I might be the first person to be bringing up this topic. I've heard a little bit in a few podcasts, but I just wanted to bring it up and put it out there into the universe so we can start talking about it. All right, thanks so much.